Hey everyone and welcome back to the channel. Yesterday the latest Battlefield was revealed to us via the trailer that you see now, along with a whole host of other details. So in today's video I'm going to go over absolutely everything that I could find last night about the game. So if you want to stay up to date with all things Battlefield, then be sure to stick around until the end of the video and subscribe to the channel for more content. It's also worth noting that the video scroll bar will be broken up into sections that are relevant to certain topics. So if there's something that doesn't interest you, then you can easily skip it. First of all, the new Battlefield game is titled Battlefield 2042. The game is set during a time where nations have fallen due to climate change and economic collapse. Only two superpowers remain, and they are the US and Russia, as they fight for control. People from these fallen nations then join these superpowers in their fight. The game launches on Friday, October 22nd, with early access beginning on Friday 15th, so the week before. It has been confirmed that there will be an open beta, and if you pre-order the game you will get early access to it. It's not known when the actual beta is taking place, but my best guess would be in mid-August or early September at the absolute latest. You may or may not have seen that there is going to be a closed alpha as well, and this will take place in early July. However, this is all under NDA, so there will be no footage or information shown about it. The alpha, as stated on the EA website, will be a grey box version of the map Orbital, and therefore it isn't an accurate representation of the game, hence why no footage will be shown. The alpha will be available only to a number of Battlefield veterans, and likely a number of content creators as well. The purpose of this alpha is simply to test loading times, matchmaking and squad joining, hence why it's only in a grey box, which means that there are absolutely no textures applied. It's simply for technical purposes only. Battlefield 2042 has three main multiplayer experiences at launch, and no, it does not have a battle royale or a single player campaign. The multiplayer experiences are titled All Out Warfare, Hazard Zone, and the final one is currently unknown. All Out Warfare is Battlefield's core modes of Conquest and Breakthrough, where on next-gen consoles and PC we get to have 128 players per match, so 64 versus 64. On previous gen consoles, however, it will only be 64 players, so 32 versus 32. The map sizes will also be reduced on previous gen consoles as well, because they simply would not be able to handle the sheer scale and player numbers of Battlefield 2042 on next-gen and PC. Hazard Zone is a brand new high stakes game mode where we have to squad up and drop down into the fight. Whilst it sounds a little bit like a battle royale from that very vague description, as confirmed by many it isn't one. It sort of scratches that itch for a battle royale, but DICE actually doesn't have plans for one at the moment, so don't go into launch expecting one. They are fully committed to the core multiplayer experience and making sure that this is the best it can be. More details on Hazard Zone will come out soon, and as for this third game mode, it's currently redacted. What we do know though is that this mode is a love letter to long-time fans of Battlefield, and it's being created by DICE LA, and we'll learn heaps more about it at EA Play Live on July 22nd, so keep your eyes peeled for that. Touching on the fact that there's no campaign, I'm personally not that bothered. They were never a huge selling point for Battlefield anyway, and the reason I play these games is for the large scale battles that you can't get anywhere else. For those who do prefer single player content, or for those who suck playing online, do not fear, because at launch you'll be able to play Conquest and Breakthrough modes against AI bots, whether that's completely on your own or with squad mates. I think it's great that DICE is doing this because it can scratch the itch of wanting single player content, and it can really help players practice the game, because as we all know, campaigns are very different from the multiplayer experiences. With Conquest, it's worth adding that each map is absolutely massive, so they will be broken down into sectors, and within each sector you'll have multiple flags. As always with Battlefield, will get its signature destruction along with dynamic weather. These strong bits of weather featured heavily in the reveal trailer. We got to see a tornado rip through a city at the end, along with sand and dust storms closing in on a bright and seemingly abandoned city based in Qatar. I'm really excited to see how these weather events impact the game, and I think each map will be very unique with it. Speaking of the maps, we have 7 in total at launch. These are Orbital, Hourglass, Kaleidoscope, Manifest, Discarded, Breakaway and Renewal. Orbital is set at a rocket launch site in French Guiana, and it will feature a rocket launch as well as incoming storms as you fight around the launch site. Hourglass is a city surrounded by huge sands that have engulfed this stadium in the bottom left of this image. In this map, which is set in Qatar, we will get to experience huge dust and sandstorms that will partially block out natural light and no doubt create a unique experience within the game. Next is Kaleidoscope. This map looks like it will be my favourite so far, with luscious green plazas and multiple skyscrapers that we will be able to zipline across. This is the map that I believe the tornado ripped through during the trailer, so I'll be very interested to see how this actually impacts the map and whether or not we can actually take down a skyscraper or two. Next up we have Manifest. This is the cargo container location that we saw in the trailer, and it looks like it will be very good for some CQC action. This map is based in Singapore and it's a vital supply line for the US, so no doubt the Russians will want to take it out. Tropical tornadoes will rage through this map as well, so we'll need to be vigilant about that. What's really cool about the tornadoes as well is that we can get sucked up into it and then fly out using the wingsuit, as we saw at the end of the reveal trailer. Discard takes place on the west coast of India in what is seemingly a graveyard for large ships that are being stripped for parts. We'll get to fight our way through these ships and in their hulls, which I think is really cool, and once again storms will be raging through. We then have Breakaway, which is set in Antarctica. Now I think it's clear from the trailer that this map is huge. Here we see the map on this mountain range outpost, but in the trailer we also see ice sheets and penguins waddling around, so it's clearly very big. On this map we can destroy fuel tanks and silos that will create debris fields and permanent fires. And lastly we have Renewal. This, along with Kaleidoscope, looks like it will be one of my favourites, with one half of it being a lush agricultural area and the other half being a desert, which seems to have a massive solar farm in it. It's set in the eastern desert of Egypt, and it says here that we need to prepare for extreme conditions, so it'll be very interesting to see what's to come. I imagine we'll likely get sandstorms on this map, so I'm very keen to see how that will impact the green area the most. I'm now going to talk about specialists. Specialists essentially replace the old class system. Each specialist has a unique trait and specialty that they can take into the fight. The beauty of specialists is that we can use absolutely any weapon we want. So you could have a Surette pistol that heals your allies, but then have a sniper as well, so you're essentially having a recon and medic role into one. Battlefield 2042 will pretty much let you play the game how you want, and at launch we will have 10 specialists, of which 4 were revealed yesterday. The first one has a Surette pistol which allows you to fire syringes at your teammates in order to give them health, kind of like Doc from Rainbow Six Siege. She can also revive downed allies to full health instead of what I imagine is half for others doing the job. The Surette pistol will also deal damage to enemy players as well. The second specialist has a grappling hook. You can fire a rope from it to attach to a surface, which then allows you to retract it and get pulled forward to that location. The passive ability for this specialist is called Nimble, and this allows you to move quicker whilst aiming down the sights of your weapon. The next one has the SG-36 sentry system, which automatically spots and engages enemy targets. The passive for this specialist will allow the player to see enemies that the sentry turret has spotted. And lastly we have the specialist with a recon drone. This will spot nearby targets, and you can also disorient enemies with an EMP blast. It can also be used to designate targets for lock-on weapons, which I think is really cool. The passive for this ability will alert the player when they are approaching an enemy, and this can be done whilst boots on the ground and whilst using the recon drone. 6 more specialists are yet to be announced, and they'll no doubt be revealed as time goes by, but that is everything we know about them thus far. With regards to future content, Battlefield 2042 will be going through a seasonal system. In the first year of content there will be 4 seasons, all lasting around 3 months each. Each season will introduce a new specialist, so we'll have 4 new ones by the end of the first year, along with a battle pass and much more. Like all games, the battle pass will contain free and premium rewards. It's worth adding that all post-launch content, so maps, vehicles, weapons, specialists, etc. will be free for players as well. The battle pass will simply be for cosmetics only, so things like player identity, weapon camos, vehicle skins and more. So you're not forced to pay any more for the game's content unless you want the cosmetics. One thing that I haven't touched on yet is vehicles. What's really cool about them in this game is that you can use a tablet to call vehicles into your location at any point on the map, so they won't just be locked at spawn points. What you can also do on the fly is customize your weapon. There are 4 attachments that you can change on the go, and they are the scope, the barrel, the ammo type and the underbarrel. This means that you could have a 20 times zoom sniper scope on your sniper, but then you jump down onto the ground and then you change that to a 4 times zoom for short to medium range combat. I know some people are quite skeptical about this, but I think this is one of the changes that I'm most excited about with Battlefield 2042. This game will literally let me play how I want, when I want, not to mention that you can call in a robot combat dog as well, which I think is absolutely incredible. DICE has also stated that with regards to crossplay and free-to-play, we should stay tuned. There's a chance that DICE LA's mode could be a free-to-play experience, but I'm not going to jump to any conclusions with that. I think having a good free-to-play Battlefield experience could really benefit the franchise, but even without one, I think this game is going to be absolutely insane. For Battlefield 2042, there are 3 editions: Standard, Gold and Ultimate. The Standard edition will simply give you the base game, the Gold edition will give you the game, early access to launch on October 15th, the Year 1 Pass and a cross-gen bundle. The Ultimate edition will give you all of that along with the Midnight Ultimate bundle, the official digital art book and the exclusive digital soundtrack. If you pre-order the game as well, then on top of all of those bonuses you'll receive early access to the open beta, the Baku ACB90 Epic Melee Takedown Knife, the Mr. Chompy Epic Weapon Charm, the Landfall player card background and the Old Guard tag. So guys, that is pretty much everything that I could find on Battlefield 2042. If you think I missed anything, then please feel free to drop any of the information in the comments below, and if you have any questions whatsoever, then please feel free to ask me as well, and I'll do my very best to give you an answer. That is going to do it from me today, guys. The gameplay reveal takes place during the Microsoft show this Sunday, June 13th, so keep your eyes open for that as well. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.